hindsight, decided I should have just cut that seam right there and there, because that whole strip of glass is loose, so it's not doing much there. So I'm just going to come in with the cutting wheel and slice that back to there and up, and then just take that gel coat off right there and call her good. It kind of just ends right there, but I'll grind back under the gel coat a little bit, make sure it's not going back more. So yeah, I'll get my gear on here. I'm gonna wear the Oompa Loompa suit today. Got kind of dusty and gross the other day and wasn't very pleasant, so we'll get going. Hey guys, welcome back.
Hi everyone.
Well, as you can tell, we're down on the Emerald Isle here.
Yeah, we're just kind of hanging out in the fish hold here, looking around, scratching our heads.
Yeah, so we've been grinding away on halibut here for the last few weeks, so haven't really made any meaningful progress down here. It's kind of like picking up where we left off, or figuring out where we left off, really.
Yeah, we just spent the morning kind of getting things tidied up inside, organizing some tools and equipment, taking a look at what we have going on down here, and trying to start to formulate a plan. So we have everything covered good on the deck. We've got a few small leaks up there, but nothing real major. Some of the biggest things that we have going on is the leaks down here, and these areas where we remove the concrete and the foam are pretty well full of water now. So this is coming from the side right here. We essentially know where it's coming from. It's probably right here. There might be some other spots behind the foam that it's coming from also, but we know where it's coming from. It's coming from where the bulwarks meet the deck, or I should say the deck fiberglass is wrapped up the bulwarks. We know that's the source of the problem. We can see it dripping through here. This was dry the other day before it started raining, so the good thing is that we know where the problem is originating from, and now we can address it. So that's going to be one of the first things that we do, is get going on that. This side looks pretty dry. There actually is a small leak here after all.
Probably the same thing.
It's not near as bad, so that's good. But I can see where it's running down there, working its way down. So, didn't really come as a big surprise, any of this. It's nothing that we're concerned about. At some point we will re-insulate and re-fiberglass this whole fish hold. But the task at hand first is going to be to put a bulkhead in here, and of course a new shaft. So that's stuff that we have coming up. We've got all our fiberglass equipment in. I don't know if it's been a while, maybe. I don't think I got this on camera, but we did remove these pillars right here. It just very lightly bound up the saw when we cut through, so I know that there's not a lot of weight on it. It wasn't enough that we had to like jack it up to get the saw blade out or anything. So while it is providing some support to the deck, it's not enough to worry about. We will be putting a full bulkhead in right here, which will reestablish that support for the deck. And what else we got going on? So that's the big thing right now, I guess.
Yes.
First of all, is I'm just gonna get tidied up down here.
Get these sumps vacuumed out.
Yeah,
water
we'll get these sumps emptied out, and we'll get up top and we'll start trimming this way. We'll take you up there and show you what we got going on. So the source of our problem for the fish hold and where it's originating is where at some point this vessel had a new deck put on it, and you know, it's hard to say what the circumstances are, when it was done, how it was done, who did it. We don't know any of that information, so all we can kind of do is just, you know, kind of guess. But I'd say the big problem was probably lack of preparation, and it could even been the application too. Maybe the conditions were bad. Like I say, it's almost impossible to say, but we do know that it's coming from where this deck is joined to the bulwarks, where it's wrapped. This is wrapped up, and if you tap, that's hollow right there. That's not laminated to the bulwarks. Up here it's okay, down there it's not. So what's happening is water is getting in here and it's running between these layers, and then it's just wicking its way into the hull. Along the plywood, it's running down here into the foam. It's just following the easiest path. So we know that's where it's coming from. We know it for a fact because back here it was delaminated. Matt already removed this.
Yep.
No
Made
problem
that up
there.
solid. It literally same thing, just peeled away just like a band-aid.
Yep.
It wasn't connected at all.
So removal is pretty easy, really. You can pretty much just go in and just trim it right at the deck right there, and stick a pry bar underneath there and just peel it right off. That'll remove the old stuff, and then we'll just come in, we'll grind back whatever kind of coating they have. It's a combination of gel coat and then some epoxy paint over top. We'll grind it back a couple of inches. We'll come in here, we'll lay a heavy fillet, and then we'll wrap it.
Yep.
We're not going crazy on this stuff. This deck is not permanent, guys. This deck is going to be coming off sooner than later, within probably the next 2 years. So our plan is to replace this back deck, and then we'll work our way forward after that. And during that time, we'll also be refoaming and reglassing the fish holds. The important thing is the hull is solid fiberglass. There's no core material, there's no wood in it. It's a solid layup, and there's no damage there. And so while this might be like really concerning and pretty foreboding to a lot of people, for us it's not. This is literally how the fishtail was, but even worse. Our decks, our bulkheads, everything was completely rotted on that. It's all been replaced by us over the course of 2 decades. So we'll just work this program kind of the same. When we have the time and the money and the opportunity, we'll do what we can, and then we'll stop and we'll fish, and we'll just continue doing that. So yeah, the first task at hand, I guess, is just to get suited up, and we're gonna come in here and I guess probably remove some of this hardware like this. Get this junk out of the way. We'll come in here and we'll cut this. This is a breather vent for our fuel tank. That's gonna probably just get rerouted right now forward and put up. This deck is wet back here, and these did have a big long loop coming up here. This hay rack will come off at some point, so we're just gonna have to deal with that sooner than later. So we'll probably just run those forward to a chase and just eliminate them back here on the back deck for now. When we get a couple of nice days, we can come back in. We can get the corners filleted out, and we'll get some new glass laid up, and then that should cure this problem.
Yeah.
So it's always little things like that. You know, these are your weak links right here. This is what fails and leads to your big problems later. Things like that, things like penetrations through the deck. Mm-hmm. It's important to take extra time to address that stuff, because in the long run, it's gonna result in the important parts like your foam and your fish hole staying dry, your deck not rotting out from underneath you. We'll be going back in with this with a foam core, which has a very low moisture absorption, and so we won't have issues of like saturated plywood or wicking problems with plywood. But if a guy is just using plywood, which is absolutely fine, it's fine for deck. You can do things like that to help preserve it. We used plywood decks on the fishtail when we redid it, and there's no problems there. So it's just a matter of being attentive and taking the extra time.
Guess we'll get suited up and get started, huh?
Get back into it.
Yep.
It's a little hard to get back into it.
It is. It's been, like we said, it's been a while, so. So we'll bring you back once we get started on something.
Where are we trimming this? Just right where it meets the deck?
Yeah, where it meets the deck, and then we'll just taper it back, yeah.
Yeah, what do you do over here?
Well, I basically just took off the gel coat because there is a dip in the corner there, so I just laid up along that. You can kind of see here, I think they tried to make some repairs on this delamination.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of strips of tape there.
Yep, over here too, huh?
Yep. So I have a feeling it was work done quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
Probably before the previous owner.
Watch out. Hey. I'm like, where's that water coming from?
Hello.
I was like sitting there like, why is there water running down his back?
That's interesting. I don't even know what that's all about. I know that this shelter deck drains into the pipes, and there's like a diamond on the back side, which apparently is plugged. Okay. Well, maybe that's where all that water splattering has been coming from, Dad. Wow. I guess it's been raining, guys.
Oh, Jesus. Well,
The blockage seems to be cleared now. Yeah, I'm standing there, it's like water's just running down the back of your leg, and I'm like, oh!
Funny.
That's funny. It almost feels waxy.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if they didn't like key it well.
That's nice.
And like really resin rich too.
Yep. Simply ain't much left of that wood there, Dad.
Both either. I don't really want to leave the other half.
Yeah. It should fit sideways, right?
Yeah.
Like this way? Yeah, it'll fit.
In, I guess. Let me trim them first. It's glued in right now.
Yep.
Let me trim the bolts off.
Guess that's why they call it casino.
Hmm.
Guess that's why they call it the casino. This guy needs to go, huh?
It needs to go.
bolts are hidden.
Yeah,
Guess I'll just have to go through the top. Drill out.
yeah, maybe.
Just trying to save this cleat, guys. These are expensive, so no use damaging it. This is most likely a carriage head bolt in here, so there's really no way to cut this off without damaging the galvanized coating on it. So just drill her out a little bit. All we got to do is just get past the head here. And I'll probably have to go find a bigger bit, maybe over on the fishtail. Yeah, bigger bit, I'll bust that out. Meanwhile, I guess we just keep peeling the stuff off.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just saying the other thing looking at this is I don't think that there's a layer of mat that went down on this first. That chop strand mat will really help you get good adhesion to the substrate, and I don't see that here, so that might be part of the issue also. They're in good shape. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. Once you chop up that coating though, then they just get rusty and not much a guy can do about it. These are hot dipped, so they have a nice thick layer of galvanization on them, and without it, they're just gonna rust up. So these bolts are just going to get cut off more or less as flush to the deck as we can. Maybe I'll just dig in a little bit, and then I don't know if we can really drive them through.
They're hidden under the
needs the foam, huh?
Yeah, under the foam and under the glass. So all that's showing is 3 bolts from this brace right here. I don't know where the 4th one is. It's hidden too.
Interesting. Guessing it's that one that's hidden?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Old boats are always just like a mystery.
Yep.
A mystery of things. It's always kind of fun to try and figure out what's happened in an old vessel's life. There's a lot of very interesting things on the fishtail that we discovered over the years.
Aha. Nice one.
Okay. That'll get it. Those will pound through. Or we can lift this up now.
Why didn't we do this with the one on the stern? Seemed too easy.
Oh, was that a struggle?
Yeah, a little
I
bit.
missed out on that one. I guess you cut that off, didn't you?
I guess
Cut
so.
the bolts from down below, huh?
Yeah. That seemed a little easier.
Yeah, so...
Oh, there's some moisture there.
You know,
5200.
5200. I don't know. I don't think it's the best bedding compound for above water. Below water, without a doubt, go crazy. But, you know, this stuff does harden and it does lose its adhesion. I've also seen it that it's so stuck on that it just destroys everything you rip off.
Yeah.
But I've also seen it like this enough times too.
Like if you go to remove, if you went to glue that on and went to remove it next year, just tear your deck up.
Yeah.
But given a few years, 10 years or whatever,
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't tend to stick very well long term.
We saw the same thing on the mast of the fishtail. We used 5200 and within a year it was leaking into our engine room. Turns out, you know, there's a lot of pressure on a mast. It's moving around, it's always pulling, it's always trying to lift off of that surface. So that might be part of it too. If there's any kind of load applied to it, it might not be the best thing. I think silicone actually works better.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe butyl tape, but I've never actually used butyl tape, but a lot of people use it.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to work good too. Sikaflex too. I think Sikaflex is maybe better above the water line. That's some pretty sticky stuff.
Yeah.
It bonds really well. Alrighty, well, carrying on. So this next, huh? And then we'll finish cutting the rest of this, or I can start cutting the rest of this off. That'll just take a few minutes. And yeah, be in here, we can start cleaning this up. Next nice day we get, we can come back in and slap a little glass over the top of it, and it should be watertight.
All right, get those bolts off there. Get those ones off there.
Surprisingly, it came off easy.
Well,
So that's kind of nice.
fully delaminated.
But you know, I
It's
mean,
aluminum.
like aluminum, once it corrodes, it's just, I mean, it's a pathway. You're never gonna get good adhesion there.
Yeah.
It's not really a good material for a plate or anything like that. But
Get that oxidation like that.
well, just trimming this back. We'll break the rest of this off here. I might have to squirt a little bit more. Get our mess cleaned up. And we'll bring you guys back once we get to the point where we're getting the stuff cleaned up and glassed back up. There's
Nothing we can do with it today. It's too wet out.
nope, all we can do is
So
just get it prepped.
Get all prepped up and
Yeah.
ready to go. And
Now that's like really weird looking right there. Oh, so that's a water path right there. You can see where that was pooled up in there. Huh.
oh yeah, sure enough.
Yep.
Let's see what's behind the rest of this, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll just give that one a trim there and then go back in. So what we can do about this, we might just need to like clean this right here and just lay into it.
Yeah, just do the same thing.
Yeah,
Pull that off, clean that up.
I have a feeling we might be getting into a can of worms up here.
Yeah.
So it's like we just gotta stop. We'll do the best that we can on it, and yeah, maybe just cut it here and peel it off and try and just get those corners sealed out.
Yep.
I'm not sure what else we can really do there. Because like you say, the stain lines are there. Short of taking all that stuff off.
Not happening.
Not today. We'll have to give him a chisel. Yep, well, I'll probably just come in here and clean that out and then just kind of, you know,
Yeah.
see, I guess.
Yep.
I know that we can't really go any further than this.
No.
But I also think our problem was back there because of the your visual inspection. So I'm just gonna leave that be right now.
Good.
Alright guys, we'll do the same with the starboard side here. It's not as bad leaking over here, but you know, never know when it could start happening, and better just nip it in the bud now while we're still in it down in the hold. Rather not find out later that sides also started to weep.
Yeah.
And I mean the scuppers show the same signs of cracking out, so we know that it's just a matter of time before it starts happening.
Most likely when we start fiberglass and
Yep.
bulkhead in.
Yeah, and like you say, there's already a little weep hole down there. There's a tiny pool of water over on that side, so just gotta handle it anyway. So do the same thing over here, and we'll start cleaning this up. Get it ground out, get the get that roving grinded off and all the prep done, and we'll bring you back for that.